Hello, this is Statler. Before I start my next project, I wanted to take a few minutes to reflect and see where I've come. This channel, this AI Adventures channel, is not just about what I learn, but also how I change through this whole process. And I have changed since I started this project. I feel more capable. I feel more in charge of my life. I don't know if it is because of the material itself or just that I have been doing something consistently for about 2 months. For context, I'm still doing my day job, but I'm also learning about AI, trying to implement things and whatnot, and doing more things in my life seems to help me feel better about it. Right before I started this project, even I guess wow, going back a ways. I was working with one of the big four as an auditor before. I switched jobs, hopefully to have a bit more time, and then I decided to do this. I think in the past few months, I have probably played on average fewer video games. I've probably had less time than I did when I was working at one of the big four. Well, depends on the season, but I'm having more fun. This is this is better. I'm an auditor, an IT auditor by trade, at least for the past 3 years, and that's not the most exciting. This is a lot more exciting, and I feel better doing something myself. Right, taking initiative, spending a few hours a day learning about AI, recording these videos. Eventually, I'll learn how to make these videos better, but that's not right now. And as a result of that, I've changed. I feel more confident, and that is taking me to a place where I want to test this in the real world. Right, I want to see if I can freelance as an AI and automation consultant. Of course, I still think there's some space between where I am now and where I need to be to feel comfortable saying that I'm valuable. I have a somewhat technical background. As I mentioned, I'm an IT auditor. My college degree had a few software development courses and whatnot. I enjoyed those. And even in my jobs as an IT auditor, I have used VBA, I've used Power Automate, I've used Power BI to make those jobs simpler and to automate a few things there. So it's not like I have completely abandoned software engineering, and so I don't know. All that to say, I still think there's a few things I need to do. I need a portfolio of a couple of projects in order to believe myself that I can convince others that I can add value to their company. I was looking online for some automation materials and whatnot, and I ran into Nate Herc, really cool YouTuber. He has a school community. In fact, let me share it. I think right now I'm gonna switch from kind of the uh, the reflection to the next steps of what I'm doing. So this guy Nate Herc um, makes videos about N8N, which is a workflow tool that can connect to a lot of different other applications, right? So we can connect to Google Drive, it can connect to Gemini, it can connect to the other AI tools, it can connect to HubSpot, these other applications. Really cool. So this guy, he makes videos about AI agents and how to build them and whatnot. Really helpful. He has a school community, SKOOL, AI Automation Society, and I learned that he is just starting an automation fast track where a cohort of about 1,000 people are learning N8N for 2 weeks. Right, we're going to build a few specific agents. In fact, we're going to build a sales agent, a proposal agent, and an onboarding agent, so that we can have that portfolio. So the next few videos on this channel will be me going through these, well, documenting my experience going through this fast track. Of course, I'm going to be talking about what I learned, but I will also be talking about how what I'm learning is impacting me, right? It's part of this AI Adventures thing. It's not just what I'm learning, but also how it impacts me. So, in the spirit of what I'm learning, I have already started the Fast Track Foundations. This is just the kind of the prerequisite stuff. And there are a few lessons that I wanted to bring up. First off, he talks about this golden ratio of automation versus AI-assisted tasks, and then human-in-the-loop oversight, right? I hadn't considered, I hadn't talked about, I hadn't found this before. I enjoy automation, right? And I do believe that when most people think of AI, using AI in their business, using AI in their life, they're actually talking about automation. They just don't understand the difference. There are about 30% that do need to be AI assisted, etc. But I think the majority of what we're still in kind of the automation phase for a lot of people. Before we can use AI properly, we need to have good data governance. We need to have all these kind of the infrastructure to support the AI workflows that we can make. But then, of course, once we do have that, we can use AI-assisted tasks, and there will always be human-in-the-loop oversight. One of the final assignments in my last course was about making sure that we do have proper human-in-the-loop oversight, not just any human-in-the-loop oversight, because AI makes mistakes the same way we do, so we need to be extra diligent when we review, etc. Anyways, so that golden AI ratio, new concept to me. And it makes sense. It makes sense. The other main idea from this that I wanted to point out is that AI's main goal is leverage, right? Not human replacement. I think I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but AI is a lever to help one person do a lot more with less. It's a fantastic lever. It's strong. If you use it right, you can lift a lot more than you could normally. So leverage, not human replacement. In the next few videos, understanding LLMs, this basically talks about tokenization and how the LLMs use words or parts of words and in their machine learning model to know what type of answer that you will accept. And this goes back to the concept where generative AI is predictive and is not optimized for accuracy. What that means is that ChatGPT does what it can to find the answer that you will accept, regardless of whether or not it's true. And that's all over the news. It will hallucinate and be confidently wrong, as long as you accept it. The main idea from this video is these tools, Vellum Leaderboard and LLM Arena. I was shocked that these tools did not show up in one of my units in my previous course. These tools give you a dashboard of how certain generative AI models are performing compared to each other. So like ChatGPT versus Gemini versus Claude, etc. This would have been right up the alley of the deep dive, the tool deep dive, right? I can't believe that it wasn't included. But I know it now, and it's really cool. So I would suggest looking into that. The main lesson from this next one, all about prompt engineering. I still think I'm going to do a course about prompt engineering. Maybe I'll just push it back a little bit. But the main idea from here is that the prompt design is your intellectual property. Building the workflows with how many templates there are, how many examples there are, building the workflows themselves is pretty straightforward now, right? The real value lies not in the tools, but how you talk to them, how you use them. And prompts are how you use them. So if you have better prompts, you have better output. And that's in the market, the differentiated value proposition, to use business lingo. Most of the rest of the stuff was a little technical. If you're familiar with software engineering, this is straightforward. Data types, strings, numbers, etc. JSON, fantastic stuff. Next, APIs. He had a great bit about what APIs are, using a restaurant analogy. Honestly, his YouTube videos are phenomenal. I'm pretty envious. And I know I could... One of these courses, I promise, is going to be a video editing course. And I'll learn how to video edit and what to video edit with AI. Not just using AI, but using AI to learn what I should video edit, so that this is a better experience for those watching. But right now, focused on the other things. But one day, one day. Anyways, all that to say, his videos are fantastic. Would recommend. Explains APIs really well. I'm not going to go into it too much here. Basically how applications talk to each other. And again, APIs and API agents, setting up Google credentials to make sure that it can connect to your instance. For a few of the assignments and a couple of the side projects, I've used Google Apps Script, which is already embedded in my Google Drive. But since N8N is outside of my Google environment, this goes through how to connect the two to make sure that they can actually talk to each other. So that's kind of a couple of things that I learned, my reactions to the start of this project. Additionally, we had the kickoff call today. So I'm recording this on November 3rd. The kickoff call was in the morning of November 3rd. So I don't have access to the sales agent, to the proposal agent, or the onboarding agent yet. Well, I have 2 videos in the sales agent, but that was more getting set up. Now the kickoff call, I haven't done cohort learning in a while. It's really exciting. It was cool to be on the call and to know that everybody else on the call was also there at the same time, right? It's not recorded. I sent a few messages in the chat. That was wild for me. That was participating. What? For an introvert like me? But a couple cool things from the kickoff. Very few people have tech backgrounds in this call. Most of them are non-tech people. And they can learn this stuff. It really is not that... It's not let's see. It's not too complicated once you get to know it. I want to make the distinction between complicated and difficult, because just because something is simple doesn't mean it's easy. And just because something is complicated doesn't mean it's hard. The most difficult barrier to entry is effort. So I have confidence that if you put in the effort, you can learn it, regardless of whether or not you're a tech person. That's what I was trying to get at. I expect to understand N8N more from this challenge, to be more familiar with the tools. I think it'll go really well. Here's why. I've used Power Automate, which is kind of N8N beta. So, and in the small amount of time that I've been using N8N, it's a lot quicker, saves so much faster, much less of a hassle. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. And then I'm excited to have 3 automations to show to prospective clients. Now, I want to end this with another reflection. As I mentioned before, this channel is about my AI adventures. Not just what I'm learning, but how I respond to what I'm learning. When I signed up for this course, it's a $99 deposit, and if I finish it, I get it back. But I signed up for it, and I had to pay the money. Once that money left my bank account, I felt this mental barrier. It's hard to describe. It felt like I was on the precipice of a cliff, on a drop, like I was about to jump off the airplane and skydive. Of course, there was fear, but the best way to describe the particular feeling was as if I was asking myself, who gave me permission to do this? Who said I could dream about being a freelancer? Who said that I was able, who gave me permission? Who said it was okay? No script has prepared me for this journey. There's a lot of other people who have taken this journey, but every journey is so different. It's not like college or your standard 9 to 5, especially in auditing. I'm sure in other professions too, but I'm from auditing, so I know it particularly applies to auditing. And even in being a family, I had parents, right? They gave me a script to follow, and I am not waiting for people to give me a script in this case. I am finding scripts and deciding whether or not they work for me. And that's terrifying. It's scary. It's exhilarating. And I'm not going to stop. If you're in a similar position where you just need where you feel like you need permission, no shame. How could I shame you? I've felt the same way. And if you just need a push, let this be it. I hereby grant you permission. I knight you with the permission to take the next step. Of course, be reasonable. I'm not quitting my day job quite yet. I know others who have. I have a wife and a kid, so I'm not quitting my day job yet. But I'm getting started. I am applying myself. I am showing up, being consistent, um, and it's already made my life better. And I know it can do that for you too. So all that to say, I'm ready for this challenge. I'm excited. I'm going to learn a lot. I have one small business who I am already providing some services to, not paid yet because I don't value myself that much yet, but I know that like if I do the work for them, and then it'll be part of my portfolio. So I'm not going to do a whole lot. Anyways, if this is interesting to you, I would recommend joining Nate's school community. It's AI Automation Society. It's pretty cool, and I'm sure that he'll have another fast track at some point. So he should be doing more if you're interested. But of course, if not, I'll be documenting my journey during this process. If that is interesting to you, you can just observe it through my eyes. If that is what you want. So I'm excited. This will be fun. Have a good week.